Hi guys, how are you? It is me, Rosalind, and I'm coming to you again today because we're going to talk about something that a lot of us go through, which is overwhelm. Getting overwhelmed when you're trying to when you're trying to do something. It has this honestly has nothing. Getting overwhelmed can happen whether you're at work, it can happen at church, it can happen at the grocery store, you could be home alone. But I want to talk to you about how overwhelming getting overwhelmed can keep you from your goal. It can actually keep you from doing the thing that you really want most in your life at the moment. So do me a favor, if you will, say hello in the comments. Also, send this share this video out with somebody who needs encouraging right now. Because I'm gonna be honest, you think that you're the only one who go through things like this. No, I go through them too, and that's exactly why I'm here, so that we both can do better at what it is that we've been working on. So what I want to, yesterday I talked to you about protecting your progress, and today I want to talk to you about what you do when you get overwhelmed. Because getting overwhelmed is real, and sometimes it's not that you don't want to show up. Sometimes you're just tired, sometimes it's mentally tired, mental fatigue, sometimes it's physically tired, and sometimes it's because you're being pulled in too many directions. You got a business to handle, you got a family to take care of, you got to cook the foods, you got a house to manage, you got customers to respond to, and your body is for right now, you just want to get healthier. And you got a goal on trying not to quit on everything, especially yourself. So that's where the overwhelming comes in. So sometimes it could be that smallest thing. It doesn't always have to be something really, really big. Sometimes that smallest task that you're trying to get completed is really, really heavy. And you can make it, you can make your whole life, you can it can make you look at your whole life, and you just say, like, okay, first of all, this is what I want you to pick up. You're looking at this thing like you're new. So when the overwhelming comes through, it's like, I know what I recognize this, but I don't know how to do this anymore. And you're wondering, where do I even start? And that's where I want to help you right there. When you get overwhelmed, shrink the assignment. Stop looking at the whole mountain. Stop looking at the entire week, the entire month, the whole year. Stop looking at everything that needs to be done and ask yourself this: what's the next right thing? Not the next 10 things, not the whole list, just that right thing. Because sometimes we don't get anything done because we're staring at everything at one time. We're looking at this whole list of stuff. We're thinking about everything that we're not going to be able to do, and now your mind is overloaded. So you shrink the assignment. So for me today, it was simple. I get on the treadmill, and my mind does start racing. I'm on that treadmill, y'all, and 5 minutes go by. 6 minutes go by, 7 minutes go by, 10 minutes go by, and it felt like forever because I was looking at everything else that I was going to do and accomplish today. But I overwhelmed myself by thinking, like, wait a minute. I honestly don't even know why I felt the way I did. Get as close get as close to however many steps you can, because that's what I did. Get as many steps, get as close as you can to it. And that's what it is. If you got your meal prep done, Eat from your meal prep because you got to shrink the assignment. You got to start doing just necessary stuff. Handle a few things that you need to handle that have to be done today. And that's it. Not everything. So do what just needs to be done. And let me say this to you. Sometimes when you get overwhelmed, the next thing is not to move faster. Sometimes that next thing to do is to stop, pause, sit down, be still, and just sit in silence for a moment. And I had to learn how to sit in silence because when I thought about me sitting in silence, now I'm overwhelmed again, and I would think that means I'm doing nothing. But sitting in silence doesn't mean that you're doing nothing. Sitting in silence, it just means that you're giving your mind a moment to breathe. You're kind of giving your body a few minutes to settle. And sometimes that quiet moment is where God wants to speak to you because everything is loud and you can't always hear direction. So when you're overwhelmed, remember this, you're not alone. If you just be quiet and just sit for a few minutes, you will figure it out because God is going to give you the direction as to where you need to go next. So don't confuse stillness with quitting. Don't sometimes stillness can be looked at as a different type of strategy. Um because sometimes silence is where you do get your next instruction. Pause, breathe, listen, and then you can get back to it. That next right thing. Not that whole not that whole list, not the whole mountain, just the next right thing. And this is important because showing up every day may feel overwhelming at first. Why? Because it's new. So I want you to think about this with me. You haven't done this in a very long time. You started at the beginning of the year, and then you took on a few tasks, and then you started adding things, and before you know it, you haven't worked on yourself at all. And now all of a sudden here we are, and Roz says stop stopping, and now it's like, oh my gosh, where do I fit all this in? So that's what I'm talking about. It's new to you, but it's not new. You just got to get your consistency up to start back getting in the groove. So don't look at it like it's a whole, oh my gosh, this is a whole mountain and everything is just coming at you. Okay? You're just asking your mind and body to do something that it's not used to doing anymore. So you're teaching yourself a new normal. And we're calling it normal because this is what you're going to be doing because you're going to have the discipline to do it. You're going to have the mindset to do it. You're going to want to do it. And every time you show up, even in the smallest capacity, you're building your consistency up. You're not even talking about, well, we're not even talking about discipline because discipline is a whole different conversation. We're just talking about consistency. That's the show up, just to show up. Listen, remember what I said at the beginning. Even if you don't show up to 100%, showing up is showing up. You got to give yourself grace of just showing up. Now, because the reason you want to keep showing up even at the smallest capacity is because this is what's teaching your body and your mind to trust you again. It's almost like, you know how when you're talking to somebody and they're steady, you're talking to them and they say one thing but they do the other. They say they're going to do but they don't show up. Well, now you're actually doing mind work. You're teaching your mind how to trust you again. And you don't build consistency on showing up on the easy days. Well, today I don't have much to do, so I'm, I'm going to show up here. You don't get to decide. You build consistency on days that you're tired, overwhelmed, the days you feel confused, on the days that you have just a little bit to give. That still counts for a whole lot. So today, tomorrow, every day is not going to look perfect, but being perfect is never the goal. Showing up is always the goal. So if, look, type show up in the comments. Show up in the comments. And if that's all you could do today is the 30 minutes on the treadmill, do that. Honestly, if all you could do is 15 minutes on the treadmill, do that. If all you could do is 5,000 steps, do that. Because whatever steps that you do, it's going to get you closer to what it is that you're after. And that is just showing up, the consistency. If all you can do is eat the meal that's prepared, that you've already done that meal prep, instead of grabbing something that doesn't support your goal, do that. If all you can print is some papers that you need to create for your business or what have you, do that. If all you can do is clean up one area, clean up that one area. If all you can do is one task, just do that. Shrink the assignment, because overwhelm wants you to quit. I'm telling you, think about it. Overwhelm. What do people do when they hear the word overwhelm? Some people start going the other way because it's like, oh my gosh, this person is crazy. But wisdom says, just do the next right thing. And before you know it, that next right thing turns into momentum, then consistency, then discipline. And now that consistency has you turning into has you going into somebody new, and you're now creating a new identity. So today, I want you to stop beating yourself up every time you feel overwhelmed. Listen, you are human. And look, being human, it doesn't mean that you got to throw in the towel. But if you need to pause, you can pause. You can sit in silence. If you need to sit in silence, let God speak to you. Then get up and do the next right thing. That's how we stop stopping. That is how we're going to keep building. That is how we are going to become the best person that we can ever be, the person that we said we are becoming. So if you're ready to stop letting overwhelm get you, I want you to drop next right thing in the comments, because if you're going to shrink the assignment and still show up today, that's what you need to consider, doing just the next right thing. Guys, listen, I'm going to keep coming in here telling you and reminding you, we're going to stop stopping. We have stopped so long, and with so many different things we were after. And, I mentioned this a couple of days ago. Well, it doesn't matter what the goal is. Your goal could be a financial goal. It could be a health goal. It could be some type of business goal. It could be anything. You could be wanting to write a book, or whatever it is. But I just want you to know, when you get overwhelmed doing your thing, pause, sit in silence for a minute, and then do the next right thing and get yourself back going. But whatever you do, don't stop. I love you guys. Keep coming back for more. I love you.